I've seen many people questioning whether or not Donald Trump will be the Republican nominee for president in 2024. Or maybe they might find someone else to run. It's my opinion that absolutely, yes, Donald Trump will be the Republican nominee for president in 2024. The reason I say that, and what needs to be kept in mind, is that the only people who vote in primaries for the Republican Party are Republicans. That seems obvious, but it's something that is not mentioned very often. And to emphasize a point, the Republican Party is getting smaller and smaller and smaller. Donald Trump was an extremely unpopular president. He was impeached twice. That's never happened before. And he was voted out of office after one term. And to that extent, our government worked perfectly, worked just the way it's supposed to. And the courts and the prosecutors are honing in on the various Trump actions. Now, will that influence the people who are still Republicans in 2024? No, I don't think so. I don't think so at all. Their point is not governance. Their point is maintaining their own influence within the culture, or what they see as their own influence in the culture. The only way that Donald Trump is, and he will be nominated as the Republican nominee, is because enough Republicans vote for him, and they will. Absolutely, they will. The Republican Party has been urinating in its own constituency well for decades, and they have created Donald Trump, and now they have to live with him. He will continue saying the things he's always said, and he will continue doing the things he's always done. The Republican Party has been the party of who to fear and who to blame for quite a long, long while. And Republican stalwarts are loud, mean, and irrational when they're talking politics. Now, you may say, hold it now. I know family members and friends, and they're Republicans, and they're very, very nice. Yes, absolutely. And as the Pirates of Penzance have reminded us, the policemen in the play reminded us, that so long as an individual is not involved in their area of crime, you can sit down and have a very delightful dinner with them, or a cookout, or play baseball with them. They are very wonderful people until they're involved in their particular crime. When they're not involved in their crime, they enjoy listening to a brook as much as the next person. They enjoy listening to the village chimes as much as the next person, as the Pirates of Penzance play assures us. So Donald Trump will win the primaries, but then you might say, okay, but that doesn't matter because he has to win the general election. And there's no way he can do that. He was so unpopular all the time he was president. There's no way that in 4 years he's going to win the general election. Well, that is why the Republican Party is working so hard to be a successful minority rule party. And the plan is, of course, once you have nominated Donald Trump, you get him elected by suppressing votes, by increasing the potency of your supporters' votes and decreasing the effectiveness of your opponents' votes. This is we all know about the Republican voter suppression laws, reducing polling places, reducing the time that the polls are open, having armed Trump poll watchers at the polls to challenge any minority who might come to vote. If a Democrat does win in any precinct, then Republicans are reserving the right to replace the precinct executives in that area, not with Republicans, but with Republicans who will be willing to totally change the results of the elections. This is of course, I'm sorry, gerrymandering as well is also being used by Republicans to reduce the potency of their opponents' votes and increase the potency of their own supporters' votes. Anytime you make voting harder, you make it harder for everyone, but individuals with limited means are going to be affected much more. That's always the case in any difficult situation. If you have a difficult situation, a person with means can overcome those obstacles. A person without means and without options cannot. It is always designed to reduce democratic votes. That is the Republican plan. That is the way they intend to reestablish Donald Trump. He'll win the Republican primary because he is the Republican Party, and only Republicans will vote for the Republican primary. And the plan is to win the election not by campaigning for votes, not by getting people to vote for him, but instead by increasing the effectiveness of their own votes and throwing out the votes of their opponents. Whenever the Republican Party intends to do some horrid evil, such as suppressing the votes within a democratic society, they will first blame their opponent for doing the exact same thing. Therefore, when the opponent comes back and says, "What are you doing? How are you doing this evil?" "Oh, we told you you're the ones doing it." So they've been complaining about how the elections have been rigged and that's how Joe Biden win. When all the time, that is exactly what they intended to do. There's going to be what they call death panels, when in fact the Republican Party's non-plan for medical care for individuals killed hundreds and hundreds and thousands of people who were not able to attain medical care. And those were the real death panels. Whenever the Republican Party intends some evil, they accuse their opponents. And that is why right now they're complaining about how Democrats somehow used Italian somethings with Chinese bamboo to fix the election against Donald Trump, when all the time their intent is to fix the elections and throw out democracy and become a minority rule party.